Hi everyone, and welcome to the Leo April 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance, or better put, to find where you fit. Hi all my lovely Leos out there. So for anyone who is new to the channel, this reading is meant to help you find the meaning in a challenge you are currently experiencing so that you can better answer why. Why am I experiencing this challenge? What does Spirit want me to better understand about my path and my purpose? And what part of myself am I meant to unlock in facing this challenge and overcoming it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by pulling a card here to take a look at your internal energy. What are you starting the month off with? As we move into April, ooh, the Lovers and Judgment. Very big hitting energy here, Leo. Now, I'm going to also go ahead and before I get into these cards, I'm going to pull some cards here to take a look at what's going on in your external environment. What does Spirit want you to engage this internal energy with in your external environment? So we have the Four of Swords. And at the heart of your reading, this lesson that you're meant to learn in basically overcoming the challenge and connecting your internal energy with your external environment is the world. And this is going to be a big hitting month for you, Leo. Oops, sorry guys. So let me go into these cards and then I'll pull some additional cards to basically take a deeper dive into the challenge itself, and then I'll pull some clarifier cards. So we have the Lovers and Judgment. Now, when this is happening internally, this is really when we are being asked to really make a choice in moving towards what we love on an emotional level. So Judgment is a card that really speaks to kind of waking up and hearing the call to something new. This is when we can wake up, and I often use this as an example. This is when we can wake up and all of a sudden we realize we just can't go to the job we've been going to for the past 25 years anymore. We want to do something else. Or we wake up and we realize I can't stay in this relationship any longer. It's no longer suiting me. Or when we realize that there's something within us that our heart is now calling us to do, and we get to this point where we can no longer run from it, because this is all happening internally to you. So when it's happening externally, there's a little bit of that, like, well, I'll wait for things to line up, and I won't choose this until this happens. But when it's happening internally, this is when we can't run from ourselves anymore. This is when we kind of have to face the music and realize, okay, I've changed. Who I am in this moment on a spiritual and emotional level is being called to move towards something new. It's being called to become now a higher, more transcendent version of myself. This is a really intense growth phase for you, Leos. And with the Lovers coming in, this is centered around focusing on what you love, on even who you love, and to make that decision on how to move forward. Because in your external environment, we have the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is a card of rest. It's a card of meditation. It's one where we are having that moment to reflect and to really understand what are the stories of others that we carry with us as kind of a part of our wounding or even part of our arsenal, because these are the three swords on the wall. That's what those represent. And then the one sword of personal truth is laying next to this individual. And so there's this momentary reflection of what can I release to allow myself to move forward with more personal clarity and with my truth, not the truths that have been imposed on me from others or the wounds I carry from others, but with the strength of knowing I have my sword and I can move forward from this place of kind of rest and reflection triumphantly. And why are you being asked to engage this really kind of intense energy with this energy out here? And that's what Spirit's asking you to really take a look at, is understanding something has ended. And it's time to now move forward. With the world coming through, the world can actually denote possible travel or possible change in location, because it does represent the ending of a cycle, a major cycle, and the start of something new, which is why it can denote change of location, change of something, because we are releasing what has been and now we are moving towards the new. It also speaks to being in this kind of triumphant place of, you have learned all of the lessons that you have needed to learn from this very large cycle in your life, and that it's time now to kind of break that, I wouldn't call it stagnant energy, but that energy of where we are kind of sitting and resting and contemplating. And it's time now to really take ownership of how far you've come, really take ownership of who you are, and get ready for movement. Because this card also has all of the fixed astrological signs on it. It has Leo, which is yourself, you are fixed fire. It has Taurus, which is fixed earth, Scorpio, which is fixed fire. I'm sorry, fixed water. And it has Aquarius, which is fixed air. And there's this element here of, it's about showing how there's all this fixed, stable energy. And that, yes, you come to this place of stability where you can kind of almost like revel and celebrate in your, in how far you come up to this point and how much you know about yourself now. That's why there's always this element of the individual being kind of half clothed, is that you have really come to a place where you don't have to hide yourself. You understand who you are, and you can, there's nothing left between you and spirit to hide. But this also denotes that, okay, this is stable energy, it's fixed, and now it's time for the world to turn over and to start anew. So this is where it's kind of like that bittersweet element of like, yay, look how far I've come, and now I need to go. So this is why you're kind of facing this challenge now of really making that decision to move towards what you love, and to really answer the call for yourself, so that you can release these kind of extra baggage, so to speak, but on a mental level, all of these kind of things that kind of muddy your ability to wield your own personal truth, so that you move forward with clarity as towards what you love, who you love, and as to what you love and who you love as to the person that you are today, the person that you're being called up, the person that you are now growing into. Not the person who is now standing here from yesterday, the person who is now here in the present moment, who is ready to take the steps towards the future. Really, really powerful energy, Leo. So I'm going to pull some cards now to take a look at kind of what's going on. What are the challenges? What's Spirit offering as a point of advice, and how to kind of overcome this? So we have the Nine of Pentacles and the Princess of Pentacles. Now the Nine of Pentacles, this is your main challenge position. In the main challenge position, this really speaks to comfort zone. The Nine of Pentacles is a beautiful card of really being able to reap the benefits of all of the hard work we've put in. It's coming to a place of personal stability and independence, and having that ability to really enjoy it. To, you know, she has the flowers and the home and the, you know, the beautiful kind of opulent setting for herself. But what can happen is when it's in a challenge position, this is when we know that there's still one more step to go from here to the Ten of Pentacles, which is kind of your ultimate legacy. So you can sit in the comfort zone and enjoy this, but eventually that comfort zone will become kind of, you know, a walled prison of your own making. And you'll always feel like there's something, just something more out of reach that you're hoping for. And I think that's really the energy here of what Spirit's asking you to really identify in your life, where you are holding back for the sake of security. But specifically, not even just security, because this isn't, if this was the Four of Pentacles, I'd say it was really about security. The Nine of Pentacles, this is really about that internal fear of, I've come to this good place, I'm enjoying myself. It's not even just stability anymore, it's that I'm legitimately enjoying myself. I have a lot that I have in my life to appreciate. But I know I know there's more for me out there. And I know that something has changed and that now I'm being called to kind of move from this place because there's more that I can do. And this is when we really have to face that internal fear within ourselves of doubt. Of when we hear that call, it's almost like, am I worthy of this call? Am I worthy to do this? Am I worthy to have more than I've already achieved for myself? And with the Princess of Pentacles coming up directly after that, there's this beautiful energy of going out there to find more information, going out there to play a little bit with life again. That it would almost be like if the woman in this picture took one of her pentacles and was like, you know what, I'm going to go on a little adventure. And I'm going to go and I am going to see what else can I plant with a piece of my abundance. And there's a feeling here of not ultimately leaving behind truly all that you've created. Now, for some of you with the world coming in, it may indicate that. It may indicate that you get a job offer that requires you to leave a whole life situation that you just finally accomplished for yourself, you know, or it could be something where you suddenly have to leave a relationship or you suddenly enter a new relationship and that truly changes the whole dynamic. It might be something like you meet the love of your life suddenly, and although you finally purchased, you know, a condo for yourself and you're feeling so great and it was this wonderful investment, that now you've met somebody else and it makes more sense for you to sell your place and move in with them. So there's kind of this feeling here of understanding that to grow, to transcend, to continue down our path, and to specifically continue down your path, there's more yet to be done. And that's where the judgment comes in. This is when you're being called to continue to move forward. But what I'm sensing here with the Princess of Pentacles is that there's this feeling of Spirit asking you to kind of move back into moving from the teacher to the student position. To again, seeing where you can take a part of what you've already accomplished and where you can take it out and learn more and invest it in a different way. And to go out there with a sense of optimism and fun and to kind of, again, release all of what you maybe now have identified with how far you've come. You know, you can look at it and say, I worked my butt off for 10 long years to get the money to buy that condo. And it really meant a lot to me to finally be a homeowner and to be able to have that place of stability that I can come home to that is mine. But it's not now that I have to give it up and say, well, it's just, you know, it's almost like saying, well, now that I have to give it up, it's almost like it never was. It's like saying, no, you have that. Now you have the ability to possibly sell it and make more money, or take the equity from it and invest it in a different, maybe a new business, or invest it in the new relationship or the new place that you're going to. There's something here about realizing that sometimes we move towards achieving something for ourselves, and in achieving that, we get one of these seeds here is meant for us to continue to carry forward. And that's the important part of the closing of the cycle, is that you learn about, okay, based off of what I love, what is the part I want to take forward from here? And to go out there with optimism, to take it out and to realize that, again, the Nine of Pentacles plus the 1 Pentacle equal the 10 of Pentacles. So you might have to go through a whole new cycle to get to the 10 of Pentacles again, but this 1 Pentacle from this 9 of Pentacles is what's going to get you to that ultimate legacy. Because then in the heart of your reading, we have the Lovers again. And this is what Spirit is asking you to embrace. What do you love? Who do you love? With this new sense of kind of this being called up to really, on a spiritual and emotional level, connect with what you love, it's time. It's time to, the lovers denote a choice, because there's two individuals here. And it's the number 6 as well. So the number 6 is really about that spiritual union of love, working with another or others for a common spiritual goal. And so there is something about that here, and really kind of coming into that place of understanding that the person you're going into is somebody who is not going to have to be alone, but that your kind of next challenge for the future is to work with others in the energy of love, or possibly just one other, but to continue to choose that, to use that as kind of your guiding star, because right after that we have the Empress. And the Empress is a lovely card that speaks to creation. It speaks to harnessing that energy of understanding that we all have that creative energy within us. Whether you are a man or a woman or however you identify, the feminine energy is one of understanding that when we create room for the new, we have the ability to allow for new things to come in so that we can receive, so that then we can utilize that and create from that what we want or need in the moment. And the number 3 for me is always the number of divinity. It's the number of building. It's the number of kind of greeting life with the optimism of a child, but then also with the deep understanding that comes from a place of destiny and divinity. And with the Queen of Swords as your final kind of challenge. So we have your initial challenge and your final hurdle to get through. We have the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords, when she's like this, can be a little bit like the gatekeeper. And she kind of looks like that here. Interestingly enough, if you notice, the Lovers, the same image that's here on this card, is also behind her here. And this is where she's a little bit of the gatekeeper of, well, in the past, this didn't work out. In the past, the reality of it is when I went to follow my heart the last time, be it in work or love or move, it didn't work out. It left me with a wound. It left me with all of these swords here that I'm trying to get rid of, but I'm having a difficulty doing that. And the positive quality of the Queen of Swords is somebody who can speak and share their story and share it from a place of, look at how strong I am. Look at how much I have overcome. And from the clarity of understanding that what they've gone through and their perspective of what they've gone through is truly their story. It is not something to be applied in a general way to everything. Meaning, let's say in the past this individual did go through a difficult relationship, that the last time this person chose love, it ended with them being kind of down and out or in a bad way. And so instead of saying, well, I was lucky enough to overcome that and to pick myself back up and get back to this beautiful place of independence, and I found a new person and it was great, and I'm really feeling confident in who I am after the lessons I've learned from that time. And I know that that was my one experience, and it can't be applied to everybody's experience. It's not every person that's going to hurt me, or it's not every workplace that's going to let me go. Instead, where this can become the gatekeeper is when she reverses that and says, well, remember, all workplaces, all managers are shady and don't want you to grow. All romantic partners are just looking for the time when they can leave you. And that's where we can get stuck with again, kind of gatekeeping our own ability to create. Gatekeeping actually with our own ability to receive, because the Empress really, as much as it's about creativity, it's also about receiving. It's about opening ourselves up to allowing for what wants to come in for us so that we can then take that material and create from it. So there's this feeling here of really sitting in that place of, I can't release, I can't come up from this point of kind of, reflection and this kind of meditative place. I can't get up and move forward with my sword of truth because of all the things that have happened, because it didn't work in the past. And this is where Spirit's saying, no, come back to this, come back to what you love, and understand that it is part of your transformation. And that this can even be where maybe you have been wounded recently in love, or something happened. And that is the lesson to learn, is that you had to go through this cycle to realize something about yourself, to now have the strength to walk away and take that lesson learned with you into the new cycle, because that's what's going to ultimately lead to your ability to create for yourself what you need. Okay, Leo, so now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull 3 cards, one for the concept of curiosity, one for courage, and one for contemplation. And this is where we're going to engage the triad of engagement, which is a coaching tool I utilize in my practice that helps bring what is a very general message into a more individualized experience for yourself, because these are meant to kind of open the door to reflection throughout the month, so that you can kind of keep these themes in mind, ask yourself these questions, and allow Spirit to help you answer them, so that you can clarify, really this whole message of, choosing your heart and where you maybe need to embrace the new cycle that's coming, and what can you carry forward with you as you do that. All right, so when we think about curiosity is about opening ourselves up. It's about being curious about what we don't know. And this is really where Spirit has the opportunity to come in to illuminate something for us that we would have otherwise been unaware of. So we have action, number 17, breaking down to an 8, which is a number that really represents empowered leadership. It represents actually creativity. It can represent financial or physical abundance. And I love that it shows a black and white horse here. There's a quality where this mimics a little bit the Chariot card in the tarot, which is interesting. And the Chariot card really is about kind of getting your head and your heart in alignment, which is really about kind of what you're seeing here, your head, air, and your heart, and getting those two things in alignment so that you can take action towards moving towards what is ultimately going to feel like your final destination, your ultimate feeling of home. But I can say here, just in seeing this card, Leo, that April's going to be a busy month for you. This is definitely a month where I think it's going to be really, you're going to need that anchor of understanding what do you love and what are you feeling called to, and to use that as a stabilizing point as the world starts to turn again. It's almost like I'm kind of seeing a whirlpool of, like, you can either get sucked down or you can stay kind of in the center, kind of like what you see here, where she's going to kind of be like floating in the middle of everything that's going, and allow that kind of spin in. I don't know, I'm just going with it because this is what I'm seeing come through very clearly. Allow that spinning water to kind of create a little bit of chaos around you, to clear out the old, and allow for, once all of that settles, you'll be able to see the new way forward. Now with action, this is really for curiosity. I'd say lines up very much with the Nine of Pentacles. Where, and this is the question to ask yourself, to leave yourself open to, is asking Spirit, what do I need to walk away from? Or what part of my current experience can I hold to as part of the lesson I've learned in this whole major life cycle, that I am ready to, that I need to ready myself to carry forward into the next. Okay, so now we're going to pull a card for where Spirit would like you to have the courage to take action for the month of April. So we're kind of going forward. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a kind of, it seems like it's a little counterintuitive here. So we have surrender to non-action. It says, now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. I love this image where she has like the unicorn kind of a crown on here. So there's a feeling with the surrender to non-action. You're like, but it says action right here. well, kind of like what I felt coming through, there's almost this feeling of like April's going to feel chaotic. It's going to feel like there's a lot of stuff going on. It's going to feel like you're getting pushed out of your comfort zone. And it's really more of a month to continue that point of contemplation, to allow yourself to ask, again, where do I need to take action? What part of myself do I need to ready to move forward into the next phase? And when we think about this in the Empress, again, the Empress is leaving room to receive. She is opening herself up through the energy of love to allow for others to come in, to offer. There's almost this feeling of like possibly being offered a job that comes in out of nowhere. There's this feeling of maybe being given an idea that comes in, and you're like, oh my gosh, if I can take this little bit of seed money and put it towards that. Or this is the offer of maybe a proposal or a commitment to take a relationship to the next level, something along those lines that's really coming in here. So action is more about questioning and asking Spirit, where do I need to take my next steps? And how can I get my head and heart in alignment, ready for when, the water, I can say the dust kind of settles, but when the water kind of calms, what am I waiting for? What do I need to prepare myself for? As I feel like this month is really a preparatory month to get ready to go out into the world again with something you have earned for yourself. And then we have surrender the drama. It says, no matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. Now, beautiful message as well. So when I was kind of saying, I kept seeing this kind of whirlpool of like, chaos and craziness. And if you can just stay centered and stay almost like in this energy of, I am at peace, I understand how far I come, I understand also my strength, that you will end up being the person that comes out much stronger. You will be the one that when the water kind of settles, you're the one still standing. You're the one still in the same place you were moving into April as you are moving out of April. And that's what's going to bring in the people and the opportunities, I think, that you're going to have to make a decision to follow. I'm just going to say this. So me and my husband have been rewatching actually the Netflix show, The Kingdom, with Uhtred of Bebbanburg, as we like to say over and over again. But there is, in rewatching it again, you notice how much, the fatal flaw of the main character, he is very impulsive. He makes these kind of off-the-cuff decisions in the moment that end up altering his, what he likes to call his destiny, or his quest to follow his destiny. And so that's kind of what's coming through here. So there's this little bit of, no matter how crazy a situation is, don't allow your emotions to get the better of you to make possibly what ends up being a rash decision that can kind of throw you off course from really being able to, again, reap the benefits of all the hard work that all the work emotionally as well, both physically, emotionally, mentally, to get to where you are now. To make the most of that, really just allow yourself to stay calm and centered, because what's going to come in for you is really, I think, important and special. And again, it's going to define the next chapter for yourself that's coming in, the next cycle. Okay, and for your final card here, this is where Spirit would like you to contemplate or reflect on for the month of April. And we have Council of Light. It says divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. And I think that really sums up this reading beautifully, that there is this element of divine orchestration, that what may seem like chaos, or what may seem a little stressful, or what may seem like, hey, I finally just got to this place of really good independent living for myself, and suddenly something comes in to change that. This is really saying it's meant to be. It's meant to take you to the next level. This is not all there is meant for you. You are meant to be so much more. So prepare yourself. Prepare yourself, and to understand that there are helpers in the subtle realms who are here for you. You're not being asked to do this alone. but you are being asked to answer the call and to choose what you love and to come up at the end of April from this place of kind of healing and restoration, and to leave the stories of the wounds of the past behind and to move forward triumphantly with your sword of truth, so that you can go out and really make the most of this next cycle for yourself. Big month, Leo. And it's going to be beautiful because it's centered around love. I mean, it's love, love, love. Creation. You're the unicorn. All right, Leos, I hope you've enjoyed this reading and that it's been illuminating. If you would like to illuminate your own personal spiritual importance and to see how it can be of service to yourself and others, I will be running a promotional special for the entire month of April for my 1-hour I Am Illuminated reading and intuitive look at who you are as an individual. And that reading will be reduced in price from $150 to $111, again for the entire month of April. If you are interested, I do have a link to a video I put together where I discuss why it's important to understand your spiritual importance and what that reading specifically looks at with specifically to yourself. So we talk about looking at your numerology and your astrology, along with combining that with a intuitive tarot reading, and how we can really take a look together at who you are and help you better clarify where you fit and what your spiritual importance and mission is in this life. All right, Leo, if I don't see you there for a reading, I look forward to seeing you again in May for your May illumination reading. Have a wonderfully loving and illuminating and hopefully empowering month ahead. Bye, guys.